Hello, I'd like to introduce a short explanation of how to multiply exponents. So if you see in solving for exponents, problem number 1, whenever you have an unknown or an x raised to a power and you have a number outside of the parentheses, that means it's raised a power to a power. This is when you multiply. You always multiply your exponents at this point. So this answer would be x to the third power raised to the fifth power solves this to be x 15. Now this is just an activity that we had completed. So we're just going to go over the answers and how it's done. Now number 2. We have this problem here. If we notice, this part in parentheses is raised to the fourth power. So what does that mean? That means that everything inside the parentheses is raised to the fourth power. But we still have this x here at the beginning. So we just recopy it. And we still open our parentheses. So what is 3 raised to the fourth power? That means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times will give you 81. Now we have the x inside the parentheses, x squared raised to the fourth power. As I forestated, like in problem 1, that would be multiplied. And that means it would be x to the 8th. Okay, now what do we have? We have x to the first power here, and we have x to the 8th. Okay, since these have the same basis, which is the x, we discussed earlier that when you have problems and you have the same base, then you can add the exponent. So our final answer would be 81 x to the 9th power. 81 x to the 9th power. Okay, let's look at number 3. Same type of problem. You see that it is the whole thing is raised to the third power. So we have a negative exponent or a negative variable, which we can understand to be -1. When you have a negative raised to the third power, that means it's going to be a negative answer. So whenever you have it raised to an even power, it would be positive. If you started with a negative, anything raised to an odd power would be the negative. So we have b to the fourth power. Now all of that raised to the third power would make that negative b, negative b, let me write that again, negative b to the 12th power, c to the what? 9th power. Okay? Because we're multiplying the exponents. Looking at number 4, we have 2 different problems in number 4. You have this one, and you have this one. Now notice the first one, you have, this is squared. Everything is raised to the second power in this first grouping here. So what do when you have a power to a power? We multiply the exponent. So this would mean that this is b squared c to the 6th power, and that's times, this is cubed now, b to the 6th power times c cubed. Okay, now we have like terms here, c cubed, turn it around this way. So we have some things that are alike. We have the b's and the c's. And when you have the same basis, what do? When you have the same basis, you add your exponents. Okay? So we have the final answer is going to be b to the 8th power c to the 9th power. Okay, b to the 8th power, c to the 9th power. Okay, we're going to skip down a little bit for in this portion up. What about number 7? Let's look at what number 7 looks like. First of all, this is an addition problem. It's not multiplication, it's changed up to addition. First of all, you only can add, when you're dealing with exponents here, you only can add them if they are like terms. Or you only can add anything, basically. It has to be like terms. You can't have apples and oranges when you add or subtract. So you've got 6x y squared plus 4x y squared. Are they like terms? Yes, because both are x y squared. So we simply add the 6 and 4, and that's 10. Do we add x y squared together? No, that is just the like term. That's just the common part of both. So it's part of the answer, x y squared. Okay, so this added here, you add the coefficients and you keep this part here because this is what it's related to. This is xy squared plus xy squared. So that's it for now.